Okay, so take a second and think about your favorite video game. Could be anything, right? An old RPG, maybe a modern strategy game, could even be just a simple mobile game you play. Got one? Good. Now here's the thought. What do video games actually have to do with money? Seems like a weird question, I know.
Yeah, it does sound a bit disconnected at first. Pixels and paychecks.
Exactly. But what if I told you that game you're picturing? It might actually be one of the best teachers you've ever had about financial literacy.
It's surprisingly true. We're diving into this really fascinating source today. It's called Video Games, a Masterclass in Financial Management.
And it argues pretty convincingly that the way we play games, those core mechanics, they teach us fundamental lessons about managing our real-world finances.
Deep lessons.
So our mission today is to unpack some of those key nuggets of insight, see how gameplay translates to, well, managing your bank account better.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first big idea. It all starts with something fundamental in almost every single game. Resources.
Resources.
You know, you start a game and you've got a limited amount of something.
Right.
Could be gold, mana, maybe building materials, even just action points per turn.
Yeah, you never start with everything.
Never. You absolutely cannot just, conjure up the most powerful sword or build this giant fortress on day one. It doesn't work like that.
No way. There's always scarcity built in.
And that immediately forces you into making strategic choices. Like, do I spend my my starting gold on this okay weapon now, or do I hold off, save up, grind a bit for that really good item later?
And what's fascinating there, what the source points out, is how incredibly close that is to our real-life money decisions.
Totally.
I mean, we all operate with limited resources, right? Our paycheck comes in, and it's only so much. And we face that exact same dilemma. Do I spend it now, that new gadget, that night out, or do I exercise some discipline, that sort of in-game thinking, and save it for something bigger, like a down payment, maybe boosting retirement savings?
It's the classic delayed gratification thing.
Exactly. And the source argues games are actually like powerful training grounds for that specific skill, learning to wait for the bigger reward. That's crucial for financial health. It teaches the long game.
Okay, speaking of the long game, this brings us to something maybe less glamorous, but super important. Grinding.
Grinding. Yes. The repetitive stuff.
Yeah. If you've ever played an RPG, especially, you know the drill. It's that sometimes boring, repetitive work you have to put in. Fighting the same monsters over and over, mining the same rocks.
Just to level up or get more gold or find those rare components.
Right. It's not the epic boss battle footage you see in trailers. It's the hours logged doing the mundane tasks.
Yeah.
But that's where the actual progress happens, isn't it? That slow, steady buildup.
Absolutely. And if we connect that to our finances, well, financial grinding is pretty much the same concept.
Oh, so.
It's that consistent, maybe sometimes unexciting effort that genuinely builds wealth over time. Think about putting in extra hours at a side hustle or diligently putting money into your investment account every single month, even when the market looks a bit shaky.
Right, even when it's not fun or feels slow.
Exactly. Or just consistently paying down debt. It's not thrilling, but the source highlights how games, through this grinding mechanic, actually condition us. They teach our brains to link that steady, sometimes tedious, effort with real, tangible, long-term rewards.
Like seeing your character's stats finally go up.
Precisely. That little dopamine hit of seeing the progress bar fill or your goal count rising, it's tapping into the same psychology as watching your savings balance grow over years. It teaches patience, persistence, the power of just showing up.
So interesting. Okay, so we've got managing limited resources and the value of consistent effort, the grind. But what about uncertainty? What about risk? Games must teach us something there too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Risk is a huge part of gaming.
How does that play out usually?
Well, think about it. In so many games, you're constantly faced with risk-reward decisions. Do you take on that really high-level quest? Go into the dangerous dungeon where the loot is supposed to be amazing, but you could easily get wiped out and lose progress.
Yeah.
Maybe even items.
Yeah, or do you play it safe? Stick to the lower level areas, slower progress, but much less chance of a major setback.
Exactly. It's a constant calculation. Potential gain versus potential loss. How much are you willing to bet?
Which, okay, brings up a really important parallel for our financial lives, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Because that's the same kind of thinking we apply or should apply to investing.
Right. Like, do you put a big chunk of your savings into a maybe a volatile, high-risk stock, hoping for a quick, massive return?
Knowing it could also drop significantly.
Do you go for a more diversified, maybe conservative portfolio?
Yeah.
Something that aims for steadier, perhaps slower growth, but with less potential downside?
And the insight here from the source material is that the really good gamers, they're a lot like savvy investors.
Mm.
They don't just avoid risk. No, they learn to understand it,
Yeah.
to manage it. They assess the odds, weigh the potential outcomes, and then they use risk strategically. It becomes a tool in their toolkit, not just something scary to run away from.
That's a powerful reframe, managing risk as a tool. Okay, so this all kind of builds up to maybe the most, the most dreaded part of gaming for many people, but maybe the most valuable lesson.
Let me guess. The game over screen.
You got it. The game over screen. When everything goes wrong, your health hits 0, you fail the mission.
Yeah, it can be frustrating.
For sure. But in a game, game over is almost never really the end, is it?
No, not usually.
Yeah.
It's actually a chance.
A chance for what?
A chance to learn, right. You figure out what went wrong, why did I fail, what strategy didn't work.
You reevaluate, maybe you change your approach, try different tactics, maybe even grind a bit more like we talked about.
Exactly. And then crucially, you hit continue or restart. You try again. But this time, you're armed with new information. You often come back smarter, stronger, with a better plan.
Okay, now contrast that with how we often react to real-life financial setbacks.
Oh, it's a huge contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we face a financial failure, maybe an investment goes bad, or we get into unexpected debt, maybe lose a job,
Yeah.
we tend to treat it like it's final, like it's this permanent stain, this wall we can't get past.
Yeah.
It feels catastrophic.
Right. It feels like actual game over. The end.
But the source poses this really thought-provoking challenge. What if? What if we could reframe those financial difficulties? What if we saw them not as permanent failures, but more like our own personal game over screens?
Meaning, like a pause point.
Yeah. A moment to stop, take a breath, look at the data, what actually happened, where were the missteps, and then using those insights, strategize. Figure out a new plan for the next attempt, for the next phase.
Wow. That's actually a really powerful way to think about resilience in finance.
It is learning from the setback instead of being defined by it.
So as we kind of wrap this up, it's really quite striking, isn't it, how these things we often dismiss as just entertainment, just video games, are actually embedding these really powerful lessons about core financial management principles. We've touched on smart resource allocation.
Making the most of what you have.
Yeah, and the value of consistent effort, that grinding.
The unseen work that builds results.
Right. And then navigating risk, understanding it as a tool.
Calculated risk, not just fear.
And finally, maybe the biggest one, learning from failure. Seeing setbacks not as the end, but as a chance to reset and strategize.
It really is a remarkable kind of hidden curriculum for financial literacy, hidden in plain sight within Pixels and Play.
It absolutely makes you think.
It does. And maybe here's a final thought to leave everyone with. Thinking about your own financial journey, what game over moments have you faced? And could reframing them, seeing them as that chance to learn and strategize, unlock a completely new approach for your next playthrough?
What new strategies might you discover if you treated that setback like a chance to restart with better knowledge?
Something to definitely mull over.